We lost the use of the left side of her body, not being able to walk without a metal walker. We've been to some of the best hospitals around here, and they told us it was in her head. The more people that learn this, the better off it's for everybody.
Well, first of all, thank you everyone for taking time tonight to sit here with us and hear the story. This is a case that I'm extremely attached to. One that really kind of hits home for me for why we're doing what we're doing. I've got a few things to start with. This evening is really about Jhaelyn and her mom and their experience, and we really want to keep it focused to that. I know that we have a wide variety of people that are watching this evening, and for those people that are clinical, part of our membership, we are going to have an open office hours on Tuesday, November the 10th at 12 o'clock to go through more of the specifics of kind of what we did, how we managed this case. I know there'll be a lot of questions, but the clinical side of this evening is really kind of aside tonight. I want to take a second here to thank Carrie Goulet and Tony Meal, part of Stop Concussions. They have been integral with from the beginning. When I started this platform, when I started this movement, they have just been there from day one. The work that Stop Concussions does globally is just phenomenal. Their passion behind everything that is concussion and traumatic brain injury related, as well as mental health, is just phenomenal. So thank you to Stop Concussions for being supportive for all these years that we've been doing it and continue to do it. So to Tony and Carrie, thank you so much for doing that. This platform for Shift Concussion has been one that has been really centered around patient care. It has always been about the experiences that people that have had concussion or are living with concussion deal with. There is so much more than just the injury that is that we get to see, certainly from a clinical perspective, being, we really truly care about what is happening. And when you get to see what I get to see on a daily basis, and our team gets to see, you see that this injury is not only just the patient, but it's the support personnel, whether that be a mom, a dad, a partner, a husband, a wife, a friend, whoever it is. This injury extends far greater than just the patient itself. I'm going to do less talking this evening and more listening. I do want to say this, along this process with Jhaelyn and her mom, Dawn, and their family, this really resonates strong to the core of what I'm doing and what I really strongly believe in. When I first met them, like I do every patient, it is another story, and it's one that certainly reaches deep to what we believe in. And over the past 2 years, this family has become exceptionally close to me. They are part of my family now. This evening, what we're going to do is we're going to start with Jhaelyn. Jhaelyn was the wrong word, patient, friend, someone that I care deeply about. But this evening, we're going to start with Jhaelyn. We're going to let Jhaelyn tell her story of her journey. We're going to follow that up by her mother and Dawn, and be able to talk about her experiences. At the end, we're going to have a question answer period. And then sort of go from there. So without further ado, Jhaelyn, I know you're there in the background somewhere, so I'm going to pass the microphone over to you, and thank you both for taking the time and the courage to do this evening.
So I remember the day it happened like yesterday. I was going to a regular dance rehearsal like I do every Tuesday. I had just left school, and I was in a rehearsal, and I had been thrown in the air by my partner, and I fell and hit my head. I got back up. I continued to dance. I let them throw me a few more times. And then I was going home, and my mom took one look at me, and she knew something was wrong. I denied it the entire car ride home and the entire next day. Then, while I was at school, I felt way worse. The lights and everything were getting to me. I was not doing well. And so my mom booked an appointment with my doctor. And on the way to the doctor appointment, I had said to my mom 5 times that I had gone to dance class that day and did not move my head, and no one noticed. Within a 5-minute drive, I said it 5 times. And that's when I think it like really hit that something was wrong and that it was a little scary. So went to the doctor's appointment, and they said this was my first concussion, probably 2 weeks, stay in a dark room, don't do anything that's going to aggravate your symptoms. Within 2 weeks, you should be good to go. So I was like, oh my gosh, 2 weeks? I don't have time for 2 weeks. I have to get to university this year. I'm a straight A student. Like, I have to get my grades up. I can't be missing dance rehearsals. This is my final year. This is a big year. I came home and I talked to my sister, who had a concussion a few years prior, and she had said she had hers for a month. And I couldn't believe that it had been a month. And I knew I couldn't be a month. I didn't have time for me to waste a month just doing nothing. Then a few months went by, and I still was not doing any better. I had terrible headaches every morning I woke up. I was nauseous. I slept constantly. I did absolutely nothing. I threw up multiple times a day. It was very frustrating. I was just not myself at all. And then in March, so the injury happened in November. In March, I hit my head getting in my van to go to something with my family, and my body went completely numb. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't feel good. I already don't feel good, and now my body's gone numb. And then a few moments later, it had gone away, and I carried on with the night with my sunglasses and my earplugs and just trying to make the best of the situation. And the next morning I woke up, and I was having my breakfast and watching a show, and I had chest pain. And I was like having trouble breathing. And then my left side went numb. Like, I couldn't feel it. It went purple, went discolored. And I ignored it. I pretended nothing was happening, because that seemed to be how I dealt with things. And so my best friend had come over, and she was like, what's wrong with you? And I told her, and she was like, you need to talk to your mom. So I called my mom. My mom came home, and she convinced me to go to the hospital. Although I did not want to go, I refused. I didn't want to believe that something more could be wrong. I went to the hospital, and they ran a chest x-ray and sent me home, not considering the fact that I had a brain injury prior and then re-hit my head the night before. From there, my mom took me to every single hospital, doctor, anywhere that she could get me to try and figure out what was wrong with me. And everywhere I went, I was told it was my mental health, and it was in my head. And because I had been bedridden and not been able to participate in things that my friends got to participate in, that I was like mentally was causing these side effects. And we refused to believe it, because a huge part of what I went through, even though I was, sick and didn't feel good and couldn't do the things I wanted to do and was missing out on all these opportunities, everyone typically said I was a pretty positive person considering what I was going through. And I wasn't depressed and I wasn't any of those things. Sure, I had my bad days, as everyone does. And, I used to beat myself up for those bad days. And that's not fair because I was going through a lot. Like everyone else had to worry about maybe exams at my age, getting into university, grades, sports, relationships, whatever. But I had to worry about my health and not know what was wrong with me. And that was a completely different burden, and not being able to even do the things that I wanted to do. I remember my friends used to study at my house just so they could be around me, which was great. I had a great support group. They would be like, oh, I don't want to write my exam. I don't want to, stress about school and all this stuff. And I could honestly understand that. But that's all I wanted. All I wanted was to have to worry about school. And all I wanted was have to like stress about the things that I used to not want to stress about. But that's all I wanted. I wanted my old life back. And I distinctly remember like during this time period when I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, looking in the mirror and not recognizing myself. And I used to say to my family, I'd be like, do you miss me? And they would be like, you're right beside me. How can I miss you? And I was like, but I'm not beside you. I'm not me. Like, I'm not a dancer. That's one way of identifying myself. I'm not a student. That was another way of identifying myself. Who am I? Who am I without those things? Who am I when all I can do is color in little kid coloring books, play card games, barely carry a conversation, be in like family events? I couldn't. I felt sick. I missed out on so many different opportunities, and a lot of the things that made me I lost. I couldn't even, like, things would slip my mind. My cognition was so slow that I just lost a huge part of who I was. And that was really hard. There was times when it was competition season and I was still like using my metal walker and a cane, and I was going to school and I was taking like minimal courses. I was just trying to graduate with my class. I took a co-op. I helped out in PLP classrooms. I took a yoga class, and I was trying to get by. But my left side was numb. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. I wore sunglasses and headphones, and just to be in the environment that I needed to be in. And no one understood. No one ever came up to ask me what happened. There was rumors going around that I was faking. And it was really hard to go to high school where there's bullying constantly. And like I had like a huge high school, so there was so many people that were watching me like this. It was really hard to get up and go with my metal walker. And then competition season came around for dance, and I really wanted to go to competition. Like, I wanted to go support my team. I knew I was going to feel sick, but I knew that I needed to go for my mental health. And there was a giant snowstorm when I was supposed to go. And my parents said, we're not driving to Niagara Falls for you to go see a dance competition. No, it's too dangerous. We're not risking it. And I remember throwing the biggest tantrum of my life. I couldn't get up the stairs by myself because I needed help. So I threw myself onto the stairs and like crawled my way up because I was trying to storm away. I was so embarrassed, but I couldn't calm myself down enough. I was crying, and I just kept being told, don't cry. It's going to make your symptoms worse. But I needed to let that out. Like, I can't sit there and just pretend that everything's fine. So that was my major blowout. And then it was about time for prom and graduation. And as everyone knows, that's a big part of your grade 12 year. That's something you look forward to. And I went with my metal walker and my headphones, and I bedazzled them. I wanted to look snazzy. And I went, and I'm glad I went so that I didn't miss out, but no one really tried to carry a conversation with me. There was a few people. I couldn't start one because I didn't know how loud I was talking. I stood in the dance floor with my metal walker and tried to move a little. It wasn't what I wanted. And same with graduation. I walked across with a metal walker. I could barely carry my diploma because I was trying to navigate with the walker. Just a huge moment you're supposed to have, and I didn't. Finally, I think it was around July of that year, Mom said, I found another place, we're going. And I said, no, we're not going. I'm not being told it's in my head. I'm not. I can't do it anymore. I'm going to live like this. I will figure it out. I will throw up every day as I do now for the rest of my life if I have to, but I'm not going to another place where they're going to tell me it's my mental health and it's in my head. My mom didn't like that. So she took me to shift. And within a few moments of being there, running a few tests, they knew what was wrong with me. They knew that I had had a visual shift. They sent me to get my lenses, and I was walking. My symptoms were decreasing. We did therapy for months, and then I was discharged, and I felt amazing. Not too long after that, though, I woke up one morning and was numb again on the left side, including my face now. And I just thought how I finally got back to driving and doing school and listening to music at a normal volume that had beats in it. Like, can't do that when you have a concussion. Watching TV, the little things in life I got back to, I was so excited. I was doing so well. I was so happy. And then I went back and we did the whole process again. And then I got better. And then I had another setback. And it seemed to continue this way for quite a while. And then finally, we found the solution and did the therapy. And now I'm better. I don't throw up every day. I never feel my left side go numb. I don't have terrible headaches. I'm at my Trent University, second year, straight A student on the dance team. Like, it's crazy the improvement I made. I was shocked. But honestly, now I look back and I'm like, I need to appreciate where I am. So a lot of the time, I'm stressed with school and I'm overwhelmed, but that's what I wanted. I wanted that. And so getting that back is something I'm eternally grateful for. The fact that I can watch action movies now, I could not do that before. I couldn't even have someone move in front of me without me like instantaneously throwing up. I couldn't sit in a car. I couldn't carry a conversation. I couldn't do all the things that everyone gets to do every day. And it was really demeaning. It was hard. I couldn't even be in the kitchen when we were cooking. I felt so isolated from the world. And even though I had a great support group. My friends were around me, my parents, they never gave up. And that was a huge part of me getting better. But it was not easy when they didn't know what it was like to wake up every day feeling awful and not being able to do the things they wanted. And so I did feel alone. But I now know that I'm not alone. There's people out there that also have these symptoms and also are going through similar stories to me. And, it's better not to be alone. I found that I was, like, a lot of people said that I was fairly positive throughout the process. And like, positivity is key because honestly, being positive is going to make you heal a lot faster, but have your bad days and know it's okay. And, that was a big part that I needed to understand. I was never one of those people that really got upset very often. And so for me to get upset was rare. And I had to accept that it was okay. Like, I was going through something that no one around me had ever gone through before. So I did feel alone and I did feel frustrated and I did feel like I was missing out on the big things in life. And I always knew that eventually, those were just going to be small stuff. But in the moment, those were big things and I was missing out and it was hard. It was not easy. Missing out on your grade 12 year. And then I had to go to university a year late. So I was going to school with kids younger than me. I felt alone and upset and overwhelmed and like I was losing parts of myself. But now I recognize that that wasn't the case, and I am doing better. And I can't imagine ever going back to where I was. And I think I need to remember to appreciate that. And so I'm doing that right now. I'm appreciating being where I am. I'm appreciating the fact that I can work out. I'm appreciating the fact that I can go to school, and I'm appreciating the fact that I can do the little things in life. So that's my story. That's it.
Well, Jhaelyn, thank you so much for sharing that. And I know, because we've had so many conversations over the last 2 years, that we could probably do this for the next 2 hours. That was a very shortened version, but yet one that's, I think, extremely real. And Dawn, you've been through it. You've lived this, and Jhaelyn knows it, and so do I. But your support and your continued support along this journey has been nothing but exceptional. It has been extremely difficult and challenging on its own accord. So, this is your opportunity to kind of, express the other side of it, because it is the other side. I mean, patients are one thing. And I think Jhaelyn made a really good point. And I just want to kind of just touch on this. One thing about concussion is it's an invisible injury. It truly is an invisible injury. I mean, you look fine, you look normal, but you can't function the way you want to. You can't do what you want to. You can't go to school. You can't do your activities. You can't do household things that you would normally want to do. And it's so, it's so hard for people around us to understand that, to really grab on to the fact that, why can't you do this? And why can't you be at school? And whether that's a mom, a dad, a husband, a wife, a partner, a support person, it is a really, really big challenge. And I think, Dawn, you and I talked early on, like, you had such a positive attitude towards this, but still, just what's happening? Why is this, what's going on? Is this real? People are telling me it's, it's in her head. And your continued support to finding a solution for Jhaelyn and sticking with it is oftentimes, I think, really hard for people that are supporting someone that's going through this injury. So, I know your story, and I'm so looking forward to you kind of telling us, because like I said, this is not a scripted portion. I asked you to tell it from your heart, from your version. So please let, I will step back again. And I think everyone wants to kind of hear, what that experience is like from the other side.
The whole, it's almost been 3 years since Jhaelyn's concussion, and to be honest, it's been a hard, long journey with lots of disappointments along the way and lots of struggles. It's really hard to watch your child go through something like this and not be able to find answers. I remember the day picking her up from her competitive dance practice. I went in, and, I usually, like I would normally, go in, say hi to all the moms and dads, and then your children come out. And I looked at her and I thought, there's something wrong with you. I knew as soon as I walked through the door, I knew something had happened. So I got, the lowdown of what had happened, and I said, okay, well, let's go. So we went home, and, we checked her out. She went to bed, and in the morning she wanted to get up for school. Very stubborn child, always has to be at school. And so we got her up in the morning. She went, we took her. She said, I have a little bit of headache, but I'm okay. I said, okay, let us know. Luckily enough, I work very close to home and school. So I got a call at around, I think it was 11 o'clock or so in the morning. I don't feel good. You have to come get me. Picked her up, took her to the doctors. We got the regular concussion protocol. Okay, go home, dark room, rest, don't do anything, stay off the electronics, the whole regime there. So we did that, and the doctor said, it'll be a couple of weeks, and she should be good. Okay, so we thought, all right, let's just do it and she'll be better. Just like any other injury, just do what they tell you, she'll be better. So we went home, we did all those things. A week passed, no difference. 2 weeks passed, no difference. 3 weeks passed, no difference. So we went back to the doctors a couple of times, like, okay, something's going on. We need to figure out what's going on. We were referred to a neurologist. She did some testing. She's like, I don't know, it's just a concussion. Okay, well, how long? We don't know. We tried everything from naturopaths to physiotherapy to acupuncture, treated whiplash on her neck. We went from neurologist to different hospitals. Just a concussion, it'll be better. Well, how long are you supposed to wait? It's just a concussion, it's supposed to be better. We had gone 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, so on and so forth. I kept looking, trying to find somebody. We were forever being told, we don't know how to help her. It'll recover in time. Well, what's going to help it recover? If we're not doing anything to help, how are we going to help her? That's the biggest struggle, because when you look at Jhaelyn, she looked fine. It wasn't until March when she hit her head, like she had said, in our caravan on the movie player. She banged her head when she went to move inside. And then we had the whole left side numbness. And we were basically told, we're not sure what's going on. I actually called the ambulance. I thought it looked like she had a stroke everywhere but her face. They said they don't know. They discharged her. We went home. She couldn't walk without you supporting her. Her left side, her hand would claw in. She couldn't really pick up her left leg. She was just struggling on that side. So my husband and I are like, okay, well, what are we going to do? So we've got to get her a walker. So we went to the rental store, like a medical place. And we walked in and I helped her hobble in. And the lady said, what can we do for you? And I said, we need a walker. Well, they tried Jhaelyn with like the regular walkers with the wheels on it. Well, they were too fast for Jhaelyn. So we had to get her this little old metal walker. And that's how she walked around for a very long time, until she kept getting stronger. And then we got her a wide-based cane. And then that's how she ended up moving for most of the time, was with this cane. Had MRIs. She had CT scans. She had SPECT scans. She had everything. No one could help us. They didn't know. This is just how she's going to be. I remember the day the neurologist said to me, there's nothing we can do for her. I don't know. There's nothing we can do. This is it. And I remember my response thinking, what do you mean this is it? She's 18 years old. How is this it? How do you just close up, fold up and go, okay, you're done now. We can't help you anymore. I wasn't okay with that. There was just no way. Somebody had to know something somewhere. And then from asking and searching and continuing on, that's how we found Shift. And I remember the day telling Jhaelyn, I found another place we're going to go. This is after multiple hospital trips and multiple doctor's appointments. And she was like, I'm not going anywhere. You can forget it. I said, oh no, you're going. So loaded her up, drove to Guelph. For anybody that doesn't know, we live in Oshawa. Guelph is about an hour, some days 2, some days 3, 4, 5 hours away, depending on what we had along the journey. We'd go once a week and we did therapy, and she was progressively getting better once we figured out that she had a visual shift. And we had so much hope. Through the whole journey, Jhaelyn had gone through 8 sets of lenses. She had 3 different setbacks with it. She had a walker, a cane. It was an awful journey. As a parent, it's awful to watch your child go through that and not know how to help her. I wish that no one has to go through that, and that people need to understand that they're not alone. You're not alone. There is help for you. You just have to keep looking, keep asking, keep looking. Don't give up. As much as it's a toll on Jhaelyn and everything that she's been through, and she's missed really important parts of enjoying things in her life, like prom and grad and first year of university with these setbacks, it's also been really hard on our family. We're a very close family, and with me having to take time off to run Jhaelyn to appointments all the time, it put stress on our other family members, like my son and my other daughter, as well as my husband. It's a huge struggle to support one child that's going through a concussion or any other, issue at the time, and support the rest of your family as well. Not only is it a struggle because as a personal struggle, but it's also a financial struggle. It's a huge struggle and burden that you're trying to juggle everything to make things work and not give up on the child that's having the struggle alone with the concussion. The other part that was really hard for us is Jhaelyn spent a lot of time at dance, as we all did as a family. She danced 3 days a week, and those people were our family, along with their children and the instructors and stuff. And when this happened with Jhaelyn, it was like we got cut off from everybody. She was the forgotten soul. That was hard. Listening to people say that she was faking was hard. Listening to people say things about her, like she didn't matter or she was just looking for attention, was terrible. No one wants this. Nobody wants to feel like this. No one wants to throw up every time they get in the car. No one wants to miss important things of life. No one doesn't want to be around their family at Christmas dinner because it's so loud that they can't take it and they need to go to their room. Nobody wants to wear sunglasses all the time. If there's one thing I could tell people, put yourself in their shoes, understand that what they're going through, you may not be able to see it, but there's something. People don't fake about things like this. Especially if you knew Jhaelyn, you'd know that this isn't something that she was putting on for attention. That's not the type of child she is. Now that we've got to where we are, and we're so thankful for Shift and Scott and everybody there, I don't know where we'd be without you. We are eternally grateful. Like you said, you are our family, whether you like it or not, you're part of us now. We miss not seeing you. Our weekly drive to Guelph has been hard, not going every week to see you guys and catch up and visit and do therapy. That's been hard. Just remember, keep looking, keep asking, keep searching. Don't take no. There's an answer somewhere. You just have to keep going. Don't give up. You're not alone.
I'm going to have to take a deep breath right now, too, with all of you. Thank you. It's okay, Don. It's okay. Clearly, Dawn, she's going to step away for a second, and that's okay. This is the real part that we're looking at right now, and I think, as I said earlier, as much as I would love to believe that this is the only case that we get to see, it is not, and I think that's the very difficult part of our job, of our team, of seeing this on a very regular basis. I think for me as a parent, listening to that is exceptionally hard, because I don't think any parent wants to be able to imagine even going through that. So that in itself is incredibly courageous, and thank you, Don, for sharing that, because I know we've talked about it, like I said, on many occasions, and we've had many tears. We've had a lot of frustration, but to your point, we stuck with it. We really stayed the course, and I think this is why we wanted to do what we wanted to do this evening, was to share with people that this is how hard it hits home. And I think, if I can sort of flip it over a little bit, one of the things, I mean, and Jhaelyn's doing a fantastic job of staying strong, but let's not minimize that many patients, and Jhaelyn's in this, where they're living this, they're going through it, and not only are they dealing with what they have happening, but they're seeing the impact that has on their family, on their support people. And all they wanted to do is just get better. Like, how can I make this all go away? How can I feel better? How can my mom feel better? How can my dad feel better? How can my siblings, feel better? It's so deep rooted, this injury, and I think it's so minimized, in many cases, where it's just this injury. It's a concussion. We'll just get through it, and for us, we do get to see the impact that it has on a daily basis. And your story is so real, and it's one that I think that is our mission, is to try to eliminate that, try to make a change. I think, Don, as you were talking, I'm jotting a few notes down here. And I think I've said to you many times, and I will say this: we are recording it. It will be live for everybody to see as they want to. But this is my how passionate I am, and it is my full commitment to make a change. We need to be better. Our medical community needs to be better. The advice that is given in terms of dark room, stay home, it's just in your head. Like, we need to do better collectively. It is a collective mission, whether it be physicians, specialists, physio, rehab, chiro, it doesn't matter. We need to do a better job. And we need to do a better job of coming together, of recognizing your story and realizing that your story is not the only story.
Scott, there are things I forgot to say, and just a couple of things that I'd like to interject with, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
One, in speaking with what you're just talking about now, one thing was, we found that most of the medical professions that we saw, like the professionals we saw, they never crossed each other's paths. So when we said to one doctor, "Oh, Jhaelyn has a visual shift," we got, "There's no such thing. We don't know anything about that." Or we, it instantly went from, "Okay, well, it's not her heart, and so that doesn't make sense why her left side's numb. Oh, it's in her head." We need to understand that there's things here that if you don't know something, or if a doctor doesn't know something, please pass this on to somebody else. Find someone else that might know about it. Do a little research. Reach out to your people, just like you did for us, and kept reaching and reaching and reaching. As a parent, we are willing to go anywhere. I was willing to go to Europe, the States, wherever I needed to go to get Jhaelyn better, I was willing to go. And just because Jhaelyn is better, and she is, I don't worry. I still worry. It's not like I don't worry anymore. I worry that something's going to happen. Last week, she came home and said, "Oh, the dance team wants to put me on someone's shoulders or put me in." I was like, "No, absolutely not. We're not doing any of that stuff." She wants to go on roller coasters and skydive, and nope, not yet. I'm not ready for it yet. And it's still a fear. But the biggest thing out of all of it, now that we're where we are, is I want to help other people. So if anybody's watching this that's going through this, and I've met and spoken to at least 6 or 7 different moms now that have children who are suffering the way Jhaelyn did, please reach out to us. Whether it's through you or however, I am more than willing to tell you our story and help you any way I can, because I would not want to live this again, and I would not want anybody else to suffer, whether it's a spouse, a child, a parent, whatever. If I can help you, I will help you. I wouldn't want anybody to live through this like we did.
Yeah, and you know what, and Don and Jhaelyn have opened up a Facebook group, Living with a Concussion. It is that resource to be able to speak out, to be able to ask questions. Don, when you talked to me about doing this, I said to you, you're opening up a big request, which I think is amazing, that you're willing to still put in your time And I know that every time you have this conversation, it's emotional for you. So to be able to continually expose yourself to this is, is fantastic. But, I do think, and we just had a comment come through, from a dentist saying that, that dentistry is important. I'm gonna say this, and you've heard me say it, 100 times. And I'll give this terrible analogy, but it is an analogy that is so true to, our medical profession. If I said to everyone listening right now that I could tell you that snow tires are completely ineffective, that they don't work, the group here listening would say, well, explain to me why. And I would say, because I bought the most expensive, best snow tire you could possibly buy, and I put it on the front right of my car. And the morning I drove into the left ditch and the tow truck pulled me out. And so I took the tire off the front right and I put it on the front left. And the next day I drove into the right ditch and I repeated that for the back right and the back left. And the same thing happened 4 days in a row. So therefore I can tell you snow tires do not work. Everybody would say, but Scott, that doesn't make any sense, because we all know that you have to put snow tires on all four. 2 at a minimum, 4 is best. But yet somehow in our healthcare system, we approach it like this. We do this, that's very good, and that doesn't work. And then we move to the next side and it doesn't work. And then we go to the back right, back left, and it just doesn't work. And I think the message that I'm trying to get across here is that until we medically find a way to put all 4 together, to work together, and this because when we were together, it wasn't about what I could do. Our team could help you, but we also needed support from other people. We needed support from specialized optometry. We needed support from different groups along the way. And it didn't matter to our team how Jhaelyn got better, as long as she got better. And it was a collective effort. And until we stop this siloed approach of care, we're going to continue your story for the next family, the next family, the next family. If we want to make a difference in what we're talking about right now, we, as a healthcare, as a collective group of people, need to understand that whether it's an optometrist, dentist, whether it's a specialized, whatever field it is, physio, it doesn't matter what it is, we need to bring those people together and we need to work collectively. And, I think you saw that. You went to, not that the neurologist that you went to isn't a good neurologist, or the sports medicine doc or the pediatrician, but they're all working in siloed effect. It wasn't until what really mattered was when we met, it was bringing a collective group of people together to say, it's not about Scott, it's not about Shift, it's about Jhaelyn. I think what we're going to do now is, Tori, if we have any questions that are out there, why don't we take a few of those and see what we can get from that.
Yeah, for sure. If anybody had any questions they wanted to post in the chat, we could definitely go through some of those. Everyone's being a little shy. But that's fine. Well, I have everybody. Thank you so much. That was really, really powerful. It was as much as like working with Shift, you'd think I kind of know all the details. It was really nice to hear you guys speak so candidly. So thanks for sharing your story with us. That was really great. I think we have a few good questions here, actually. Someone was asking, Jhaelyn says, how do you get past the feeling of being a burden to your friends and family?
Yeah, that's a hard one. Just know that they clearly love you and like want you to get better. I'm sure that you feel like a burden. I know I did, because you know that there's financial parts to it, and maybe not all your family members are getting what they normally get out of everyone else because they're just having to dedicate more to you at this time. But I lost my train of thought. They want you to get better. It's not your fault. There's nothing really you can do about it. You need their support. You need their help right now. And eventually that's going to get better, because there is hope at the end of the tunnel and you are going to get better. but you should, it's hard. You're going to feel that way, and it's hard to get past it for sure. But they want you to get better. They love you. They probably don't view you as a burden the way that you feel you are.
From a parent's perspective, we might look tired, we might look frustrated. We love you. You're not a burden. All we want is for you to be better. So you just have to remember that. We all get tired, we all get frustrated, just as you will with your concussion. But we love you. We want you to get better. So don't always think that you're being a burden.
Yeah.
It is hard though.
Well, I will say this, and just to respect everybody's time. You know, I want to do this. Obviously, we'll have more questions, and we'll welcome to take and answer any questions. And you, by all means, can reach out to us and email us at our office. As I mentioned, Living with a Concussion is a Facebook group for those that are on Facebook. But what I would like to do is just sort of end with this. Dawn, Jhaelyn, thank you so much. I know that tonight was a very difficult night, and you know you were extremely brave in taking the opportunity to share your story. I know it wasn't easy, so thank you both. You know, you're both very special to me. And it's okay whether I've got you or not. I'm very happy with that. Our lives will be connected now for that. So I'm grateful in a weird way that we had to go through this way to find that. But you know, thank you so much. Again, I want to let our membership know, for the people that are talking, we're going to be having a thing on Tuesday the 10th. To discuss more clinically what we did, the stuff that we worked with. Thank you to everyone that stayed along. We had the vast majority of people stay the entire time, so that was fantastic. You know, I'll kind of leave just on, you know, on this note. You're right. This injury is invisible. It is an extremely challenging thing for both those that are going through it and those that are around it. Understand, as we've said a number of times, you're not alone. There are supports, there are solutions. We do not have to accept the dark room. It's not okay. There are better ways to do this. So thank you again for everyone for coming. Jhaelyn, Dawn, thank you. Tori, I'd be amiss because she made this entire thing happen this evening. So Tori, thank you for all your hard work and, you know, in doing this, because I have no technical ability at all. So Tori makes all the stuff look great. You know, and a big thank you to, you know, to our team for at our office that are doing what they do. They're a great group of people. They're exceptionally smart, and they're extremely passionate, and that to me is you know huge for what we're doing. So thank you, everybody. Have a great evening. Appreciate everyone for staying on with us. And Jhaelyn, enjoy your reading week.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, we'll all be talking soon, I know. So thanks everyone, and have a great evening.
Thank you.